Hey everybody, Old Sham here. Do a quick unboxing. New Spiderfarmer light that they sent me to check out and show everybody. First thing I'm going to say is box real nice. I didn't open it, but I haven't taken anything out yet. It's very nondescript. It does say Spiderfarmer on the outside, but other than that, it doesn't really say what it is. So unless you're doing this like we are, you wouldn't know what it is. This is a 300 watt model. I don't know if it's the SE3000. I'll put it in the description either way, or we'll figure it out here in a minute. Yeah, I think it's the SE3000 is what this is. I believe it's 300 watts. I also believe it's Samsung diodes and Inventronics driver, but we'll find out together. So that's kind of nice. These little foam plugs that hold these things in so that they don't bounce around. Handy. That is heavy duty. That must be the end. I'm just gonna set that right there. In fact, we'll actually put that upside down. Oh, look at that. When it comes apart, we'll find out. Maybe that's each end. I don't think so. I think that's all one piece. We're taking this all apart underneath the Spiderfarmer SF2000. We're doing real well. This is packed really nicely well. So this is the driver. Alright, it's a mean oil driver, ELGC 300 AB. So it's dimmable. It's got this very cool master controller, just like the little SF1000 we have showed on this channel already. Turn that off. And I'm guessing you can mount it outside the tent if you want to. Find out these caps. Looks like some hangers, the next ones, and another cord for the power. That appears to be it. Pretty nicely packed. We're going to stick all this stuff back in here. Good chance it'll never end up back in this box, but you never know. Get that out of the way. So, this is the SE3000, 300 watts. Looks like it is for a 2x2 or 3x3 space. We're going to be putting this in a 3x4 space, and we'll see what we have to do for the ends. Maybe nothing. We used to run this SF2000 in the 3x4 at 230 watts, and it ran great. We did real well, so I'm guessing this is probably going to do okay. Yeah, so dimensions, weight, this thing weighs 15.7 pounds, 22.6 inches by 24 inches by 3.7 inches, so about 2 feet by 2 feet. Would fit in a 2x2 perfectly. We're going to look at how we put this together, and we're going to put it together. Yeah. So putting this together was pretty easy. Just took the ends apart and looked at them. They're both about the same. One side actually had the wires in it, the other side didn't, but they're the same connectors. Likewise, the bars, one side had the terminals, one side didn't with the same connectors, so you just lay them out, set them in there. They got two pieces that come apart at the ends. You take them apart first. Once they're in, put them back together. Make sure you put the right side on the one with the wire so the cutout's in the right direction. That way it'll fit. And the driver fits right on the bars. There's actually a package that has some thumb wheel screws in it. The orange ones fit on the ends to hold those bars together. Once the bars are in, the pieces are back together. Then you put the caps on. And the black ones that have the plastic screws in them hold the driver onto the bars. That way it doesn't hurt the bars, which is a pretty nice touch. You could mount this outside. There's plenty of wire. I don't want to do that because we got winter coming. We're gonna need the heat in the tent, and right now I want to vent the heat out. I don't use the hangers. I just use the ratchet straps that came with it, which are pretty nice. The whole thing went together real easy. It's very sturdy. I'm pretty impressed with it so far. I think it's going to be all right. Plenty of cable there. It might be a little bit too much cable. It'd be nice if there was another connector on the end so you can shorten that up when you're not putting it outside the tent. But other than that, I like it. The cat seems to really like my tent. Of course, the other cat decided he'd get in there too. Awesome. But overall, this went really slick. Went together good. Hung nicely. Looks awesome. All right, we got it hanging. Looking beautiful. It turned up to 100% at the moment. This is in a 3x4 tent. And we'll see what we're gonna do. We might put the Spiderfarmer SF1000 in here with this, just to fill in some of the space. This is a little bit bigger than this is designed for, and it looks like it's gonna have a real good spread in the 3x3 space. Kind of put it in there sideways so that it would fill more of the long way. And I may actually turn it the other way and stick the other light in there next to it and hook it to the controller, which will make them both dimmable at the same time, I think. So for the moment though, we actually have this ppfd meter here. Hang on just a sec. And we're gonna use that to just get a baseline of what's going on with these things. So yeah. It's gonna be about 18 inches. We're gonna go right in the center. And it looks like 5, and we'll put that right in the center where the camera is. 536, 542 at 18 inches. All the way to the other side of it. Drops to about 330. Go over to this side. Also about 330. We go all the way to the edge of the tent. We're down to 170. If we go to the back side of the tent, that's actually about 290. And here with no reflection, it's actually 350. Let's go over here. Huh. Surprised by that. So if we were to move this up to 12 inches, which I think this is supposed to be hung a little closer than a normal light. We got 800 right here, 700 here. It's actually only 500, which is weird because the other side was higher, but it may just be the way it's laid out. 400, 500, 700. So it seems like about 12 inches is probably where this wants to be for flower. Even out here at 12 inches, we're dropping down to 150. That's not real great at the edges. A little further down seems to actually be better because it probably can spread out more by the time it gets there. So yeah, it's still only 160. So looks like 12 inches is probably where that needs to be. We could bring it up a little closer, and you're getting a little higher. A lot though. You gotta be really close. 1,000. 1,000 is right there, so you could get this really close in flower to the canopy. If you had this in a tight space, like a 2x2, you wanted to get 1,000 ppfd. It looks like you would want to be. That's 1,200. That's about 1,000 right there. So it looks like you could get 6 inches away from the canopy, all the way across, and get a nice even 1,000 ppfd. We're probably not going to get quite like that in this tent. We may move this over and put the Spiderfarmer SF1000 next to it. I'm starting to really lean towards that, as this tent's a little bigger than this is supposed to be. It looks like a 3x3 is really maxing it out for a personal grow. I bet this would do really well in the 2x2, to tell you the truth. And we'll see, maybe we'll change my mind and put it in there. We still have that here, so it's available. But for now, we're gonna get this thing scrogged out, get some plants in here, get this thing growing. And let's turn it down. See how far down it'll go. That's 0. It really doesn't like 0 that much. And about 12 inches for that. We have about 90 ppfd. So, and what I didn't do was hook the watt meter up to it. I would really like to see what this is drawing, so let me go get that. And now the master controller is hooked up to the Spiderfarmer SF1000. Fill in this extra foot of space, and let's see if it shows up, but works perfectly. Nice. Ready to go. So, the minimum setting, just the SE3000, goes down all the way to 32 watts, 31 watts. Start bringing it up all the way to 100%. Pegs out at 276 watts, 277, right around there. So not quite 300, a bit more than the SF2000 is. So it should do pretty good in this tent. Let's see. The Spiderfarmer SF1000 hooked to it, so we can fill the space. Really works slick. That's pretty impressive. Get the wattage on that too. So, on watts, all the way down, lowest setting on the master controller, we get 43.5 watts. That's with both lights hooked to it. If I can reach my hand back in there. Bring it up to 100%. Both of those lights hooked up. 373 watts. That should be a pretty good amount of energy to fill that 3x4 by 510. It'll be the most wattage we've had in it yet. Flowering. And should do pretty good. So we got the clean carbon filter, free filter, everything hooked up in here nice and neat. Power, both lights, both trellis nets already installed, everything cleaned out. Time to get some plants in here, get to growing. Spiderfarmer, thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next one. We'll see you out.